Frank Latham from the Hopkins County Sheriff's Office. He's come up today to participate in today's press conference. Obviously, some of their investigators have been involved with this case since it originated in Hopkins County, and then we followed up here. Now, the newest information that we have to release today is that we have positively identified the victim that was found in the burned-out car in Hopkins County over the weekend. It's 26-year-old Brandon Anthony Draper of Evansville. During the death investigation in Hopkins County, their investigators learned that the rental car that had been burned out was rented to Brandon Draper in Evansville. They contacted local investigators here and shared that information, and our investigators began to attempt to locate Mr. Draper with no success. They did contact some of his family members and obtained some addresses that he was known to frequent, and over the next couple days we started checking those addresses trying to locate Mr. Draper. We were unable to do so. One of the addresses that we checked Sunday and Monday was the 841 Washington Avenue, Apartment A. That was one of his known places that his family told us that he went to on a regular basis. We were never able to make contact with anybody at the apartment, and it was not until Tuesday morning when we received a 911 call for the possible residential burglary report that officers ever get into the apartment. Once they entered, they did see the apartment was ransacked and there were signs of a violent struggle in the apartment. They contacted our detective unit, they came to the scene, and then they contacted Hopkins County investigators. Hopkins County investigators came up as soon as they were contacted, and they began to assist at this end of the investigation. But that was the link, was the common name with the rental car in the apartment up here. Through the medical examiner's office in Louisville, Kentucky, the autopsy was conducted, and they were able to obtain a positive ID on Mr. Draper. Right now, we still have a lot of unanswered questions as far as exactly what happened to Mr. Draper or where it happened. We're dealing with two different states and two different jurisdictions. We will have to determine first what the exact cause of death was, and then determine which state the death occurred in as part of our investigation. Right now, we don't have any of those answers. We're going to continue to work on that, and hopefully we will be able to answer those questions as the investigation. There have been a lot of people on different websites putting information out. We would ask that if it's just rumors, that people withhold those comments, because it causes a lot of stress for the family, and it also can impede on our investigation. With that being said, if somebody has information that they feel that we need to follow up on, whether they have firsthand knowledge of what they're telling us or not, please contact your local law enforcement agency and share that information. We are following up on leads as they come in, and that has assisted us somewhat in the investigation. There's a lot of different scenarios that we're looking at. We haven't taken anything off the table. We'll make sure we keep an open mind so we don't miss. We have interviewed a couple people, primarily the people that came home Tuesday morning and found the apartment. They came down voluntarily, were interviewed and released. We have not labeled anybody as a person of interest or a suspect. Based on the two scenes, when you put it together, we believe that a violent act did occur, so it's probably going to be treated as a homicide at this point. Whether or not it's officially ruled as a homicide through the medical examiner's office doesn't really play into how we treat it from the beginning. If we don't treat it as a serious case and we miss a few things along the way and then change our determination, that's stuff that we may never get back. So we'll treat it right now as a homicide investigation, even if the cause of death has not been ruled a homicide.
As we did our evidence scene in Hopkins County, there's a lot of information that started coming up. We contacted the Evansville Police Department. They started running some of these inquiries that we had down for us. Cooperation started approximately 6 a.m. Morning of the discovery, and it's continued up to this point. We're looking at to resolve the manner of death and the place of death. Those are the two big questions right now that we're looking at. Evansville is hopefully going to answer some of those questions. I think it's already been published out. The body was actually found in the back seat, partially in the trunk.